Hi Bigtractorpower fans, this video comes to you from Renner Stock Farms located in Belleville, Illinois. I'm out in the field with the farm's John Deere 5020 repowered tractor. This machine is equipped with a Detroit diesel 8V71T 9.3 liter 568 cubic inch engine rated at 360 horsepower. This tractor is fitted with Firestone 900 60R32 rear tires, and it's plowing ground with a 618 John Deere 3600 plow. During this video, we'll visit with John Renner and talk to him about the specifics of this tractor and the different components that went into making this machine a real powerhouse out in the field. But first, let's head out to the field so you can see and hear this big tractor plowing.
Basically what this is a 5010/20 Detroit Repower. We're not sure if it's a Kinsey. We think it might be. There's a couple things you can look for on a 5020 if it's a Kinsey Repower or not. But what really sets this one apart is that it's got the turbo. So all the Repowers that I've seen, they're just the Detroit, and the Detroit, they all have superchargers on them, but this one's got a turbo feeding the supercharger, so that's what really makes this one special. So just because of that, we kind of went all out on it, if you want to call it that. We've got a set of 932s on the rear. We got those from our local tire place, got a good deal on them, and I welded a set of rims that kind of help push the walls of the tire out a little bit bigger or a little bit wider, so it gave it a really nice profile. And on the fronts we have 16.5 16.1s. So we put these big tires on the back, and we kind of based it off John Kinsey's or John Kinzenbaugh. We kind of based it off the one that he has in his center, his innovation center. He's got one, I think it's got 35.5 32s, and that's just about the same size, and he used 16.5 16.1s on his tractor, so we kind of went off what he did, and it made it sit really nice and level. Next is instead of changing, so we got this tractor, it had a cab on it, and to cover the turbo where they mounted it, they made a really big, clumsy kind of looking shield that went around the turbo and bolted to the cab. And since we took the cab off, we couldn't reuse that, so we went ahead and took a small LP tank and formed it to the hood, and it turned out pretty good. There's a lot of clearance up in there under that tank, and then the exhaust comes off the turbo with a 90 and comes out of the hood. It's a little hard to see far. It's hard to see far away, but when you get up close to it, you can see the exhaust pipe is welded. So I went ahead, and the 90-degree elbow that comes up out of the hood, that was rusted out when we got this tractor. So I put a new one on, and I welded that top pipe together and then smoothed it out with a grinder, and then we got it chromed. So it's a nice one piece straight pipe with no clamps anywhere except for where it connects under the hood. This tractor has the Wheatland fenders. Shout out to Lance Little. We got those from him. He rolled into our farm one day with those on his trailer, and they didn't leave. So thanks for letting us buy those off you. It really made this tractor one of a kind. We've also got the big 5010 dust shields that go with those fenders, and new lights all around. To get clean air to the turbo, we got a canister off an old semi, and I built a bracket that holds it up, and the bracket is also the stairs to get onto the tractor. And I used John Deere steps we had laying around. So another big thing we did was incorporate a weight bracket system in the front of this tractor. So with these frame rails and how everything is set up, we couldn't use the regular mounting bars like you saw on the 4520 if you saw that video, or just on a regular 5020. They come farther back than here. So instead of doing that, we had these new bars bent, and I welded it all up, drilled the right holes where they're supposed to be, and made a nice little weight bracket for this tractor. And it's got the starter weight with the double stack. So you've probably noticed that there's no decal on this tractor. There's no 5010 or 5020 decal, and that's kind of because it's both of them. We've got parts from each tractor on this tractor. It's got a 5010 fuel tank, 5010 front axle, 5010 dust shields and Wheatland fenders, and then the transmission and all that is off of a 5020. When we got this tractor, the transmission had some major problems, and we knew of a guy that had a 5020 that got rebuilt back in the day. The rear end got rebuilt. So we bought that, split both tractors, swapped the rear ends, and put it all back together. So it's got parts from both on this tractor, so it's kind of hard to label it. When we got this tractor, it had 2 radiators in it to really help cool this thing down. We got out of that. We didn't do that. So when we decided to rebuild this, we took out the front radiator, which is where the fuel tank is now. That's where that front radiator was. We took that out, and the bigger radiator, we had that redone, and stuck a core in there that put a radiator in there that had 1 extra core. So it takes a lot to get this thing over 190 degrees. So it's cooling really well, really well. Let's see. And since we removed that front radiator, we had room to put the 5010 tank back in this tractor. We couldn't fit a 5020 tank. The 5020 tank is a lot bigger. It makes more of like an L shape. It's it makes more of an L shape, and it takes up a lot of room under there. So we went with the we decided to use a 5010 fuel tank. Another thing that makes this tractor really cool is we changed all the hydraulics over to a console. All 5020s had their hydraulics up on the dash, and the actual hydraulic remotes sat where they put the turbo. So of course they had to move them. We were lucky that they did all that before we got a hold of it, which that was way back when they were still using it. So they put all the remotes on the back of the tractor, and I took a console off of a 4620 and put it up there and made all the linkages and got all that to work. It's got two remotes, and they both work in the console, and it's also got a 3-point hitch with a quick attach on the back, and that also works in the console. So that's another cool thing that we did to this tractor among everything else. It's got a synchro range transmission, and we pull a 6-bottom John Deere 3600 plow, and it'll pull it in 5th or 6th gear depending on conditions. 6th gear you can run a little bit lower RPM, which is helpful to your ears, and it does really well. You can run 6th gear about 1800 RPM, and it does a really good job, or you can run 5th gear wide open, and that's also really fun. So handles the 6-bottom plow really well. It could pull a 7-bottom, but the 6-bottom we can kind of move around to a couple different tractors. So instead of getting all of our plows dirty, we just get the 6-bottom out and have a little bit of fun. It's just for fun.
I hope that you've enjoyed learning about this 5010, 5020 repowered tractor and spending some time out in the field with it at the Renner Stock Farm plowing. Would you like to learn more about Renner Stock Farms? Make sure to check out their YouTube channel and Instagram page. I'll put a direct link to their channel in the description area below this video. Do you like Detroit diesel engines? Do you run one on your farm? Let me know about the tractor and model that you're operating with the Detroit diesel in the comment section below this video. If you've enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to Big Tractor Power YouTube, where there's over 1,000 videos of farm machines in action. As always, thank you for watching.